Part 3 of You Don't Know Squat was put your heels just wider than your hips. We talked about why, and again, we don't want to put too much angle on the joints, and we don't want to make it a flexibility issue. Our last part of the squat. So it's toes out, knees track over the toes, heels just wider than hips. Sit back through the heels, squat to parallel or below. Now look, there's some creative license with this. You don't have to sit back through your heels. It's probably best to sit straight through your midfoot. That's all fine and good. But most people who are new to this will do better if this is their very first movement. We got set up, toes out, knees track over the toes, heels just wider than the hips. If you're at this setup, your very first movement should always be here. Sit back, put the weight in your heels, and then squat to parallel or below. In part 1, we talked about why parallel or below. The reason had to do with recruiting other muscles than just quadriceps, right? That creates balance and gives more bang for the buck. So we instruct folks, sit back through the heels, put your weight on your heels, right? I even sometimes ask people to lift their toes, even though I know that's a false cue, but it's a good way to get your squat started. Sit back through your heels, squat to parallel or below. Otherwise, sometimes it starts looking like this. If you don't sit back through your heels, a lot of times a squat, especially for beginners, looks something like this. You ever see that one? What am I doing wrong right there? Watch my heel. You ever find yourself in a place where your heel's coming off the ground? You're doing that wrong, okay? You're putting too much angle right there on that knee, and it's going to be too hard on the knee, and you're not really set up to recruit all the big muscles of the lower body to do your squat. So you're not being efficient, and there is a safety issue there. So your very first move, always, toes out, knees track over the toes, heels just wider than the hips. Sit back, right? Sit back through your heels, squat to parallel or below, and you'll do that one until you get it to where you can squat just through your midfoot. That one's fine too, but beginners typically sit back through your heels, squat to parallel or below.